Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. If you're here for the first time, my name is Heather and we are a fun, fabulous sewing channel where we do tutorials, we do prep, we do kind of all the things. If you've been here before, welcome back. Thanks for joining me again. Today we're doing one of my most favorite activities and one that we haven't done in a little bit. We're doing a Dollar Tree DIY. Yes, we are. If you've been with me for a while, you know that Dollar Tree DIYs are one of my absolute favorite things to do. I love rummaging around the dollar store and looking for things that we can make into something else. Today, though, the Dollar Trees near me, they don't necessarily always have a ton of like crafty materials. And for the first time, probably ever, I noticed that they had those little fabric rolls that I've seen people sort of get before. So this is, sorry, I'm much better if you were watching when I was super sick and my voice was crazy, but still not all the way better. So this is Crafters Square. It's craft fabric and it's 18 inches by 21 inches. And one roll was $1.25. So let's see. Let's see what we're working with here. So we're going to use two different colors today. Okay, so we've got this like pretty blue. And then we have this like a florally design. And I am thinking, so I've never used this before and I just wanted to give it a try, like to see how it sewed. It's cotton, so I'm sure that it will sew just fine with no problems, but I like to try stuff out. I like to see what we're working with here. This is cute. Okay. So I was looking at it and I actually, I think that we're going to make like a fabric basket, which I've never done before either. So I've never used this and, I've never made a fabric basket at all, ever, out of any material before. But Michael hung up a new shelf for me and I've been trying to organize a little bit and, have been like buying bins and baskets and things like that. And when I saw this material, I was like, oh, this would be so cute as a fabric basket. So we're going to go for it. You guys know I like to go for it for the first time together so that you can see kind of my thought process, and sometimes things work and sometimes they don't. And I don't know the result of this because I actually haven't made one before. So let's head on over to the machine and figure out this Dollar Tree DIY fabric basket together. All right, so we are at the machine over here, which is a Juki TL2010Q. We are using Tex 35 weight thread in white from Waywack in the top, in the bottom. We're going to keep our Microtex 9014 needle in. It's not necessary for cotton or the project that we're doing today, but it's just what I always sew with, so we're going to keep it. And then we have our tank foot for high shank machines. The numbers on the side are KT141 in case you're looking for one for yourself. The shop that I purchased it from doesn't sell them anymore, so I don't have a link for the foot. All right, so we're here, like I said, at the machine. I have our material and I have my 9.5 by 9.5 inch square omni grid. And so just to kind of make it easy on myself, I'm gonna just use this as our template. So we're gonna have 9.5 by 9.5 inch squares. And I have my iron sort of warming up behind me over at my ironing table. Get some of the creases out. Okay, so we're just gonna, this is our interior material. We're gonna put that Nice little white blue floral. We're just going to draw 2 9.5 by 9.5 inch squares out of our interior and out of our exterior. And then I'm going to grab some quilt batting also, which is not necessary, I don't think, but I would like to just put a little quilt in our exterior pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out our 9.5 by 9.5 inch squares from all of our material, give it a little iron, and then we'll do our exterior quilting and try to make a bin. I don't know. We'll see. We're almost there, I guess. All right, so we are ironed, and I went ahead and quilted one of our exterior pieces, and we'll do the other one together. I just did I lined up corner to corner and then did 2 inches. So it's like a 2-inch diamond pattern. And I used air erasing marker, so I know you can see some of those lines now, but you won't be able to forever. So that's what our exterior quilt is going to look like. And this is our batting. So we're using the thicker stuff, which I don't know how that will work on our basket, but I like the thick stuff. So whatever, we're going to go for it. All right. So to quilt, just move you guys. We're going to take a different one of our Omni grids. This one is 24 inches long by 3.5 inches wide. And this is what I use for quilting because it has all of these angle lines on it. We're not going to use the angle today. Like I said, we're just going to line up corner to corner, and then we're going to draw 2 inches off of that. So quilting is, I didn't do it for a really long time, but ever since I started, it's really addicting. I get it. All right, so then I'm just using that line that we just made and going 2 inches over to make our next one. But it's cool because there's no right or wrong. And I really and truly believe in sewing. That's one of the amazing things. There is an endless amount of possibilities for making something, and there is no one way to do anything, and that includes quilting. So if you're going to make this basket, you certainly don't have to do what I'm doing, but if you've never quilted before, I would suggest you give it a try. And I like this 2-inch wide because it allows for some of that puff to sort of come through, and it's not going to take a really long time to quilt either. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines per side. So now I'll just do the exact same thing, drawing those lines from this corner to this corner. And there's no point in really doing here because you're not going to see that. So that's why I'm just kind of letting that go. Letting it go. It will look quilted all the way through. All right. That's our pattern. Those are our lines. You can see the diamond shapes. And then we're just going to take our piece of batting, we're going to put our material on it, and then we're going to start from one corner, and we'll work our way down these 5 lines, and then we'll sort of turn our material and do the other 5. So I'm just going to switch the angle here. And I do backstitch at the beginning and the end of each of our quilt lines. And if you quilt different than me, like I said, like you do you, whatever floats your boat. The one thing I always make sure is that I start and stop on the same side. And I don't know why, but that's what I do. All right, so we're just gonna keep on quilting until we get this all set. All right, so now both of our panels are quilted, and we're just gonna go ahead and sort of cut off any of our excess and our long threads and any of that stuff that you don't want in your final product. And then we're going to go ahead and cut boxed corners into all of our materials. So once again, I'm going to grab another Omni Grid. Apparently, this is what we're doing. We're Omni Gridding everything, and that's fine. And we're going to do 2" by 2" boxes. So we'll just take our Omni Grid and we'll make sure that we have 2" by 2", and we're going to do that out of all 4 sides. Out of all 4 pieces, not sides. So I'm going to go ahead and draw those on all of our pieces, and then just really simply cut out the bottom squares. Okay, like so. So I'm going to do that on all of them, and then we'll begin to put our basket together. All right, our corners are all cut out of all of our pieces. And so what we're going to do now is just put our pieces together. So our exteriors to our exterior, right sides together. And you guys, if you're making this and you're gifting it or selling it or whatever, I would put a hang tag on this, or you could sew in a regular tag. Because this is just going to kind of hang out in my sewing room, I'm not going to use a tag, but now would be the time to put one in before you start sewing everything together, for sure. These didn't really have a right or a wrong side, so we're just going to put them together. I'm really loving these like light colors. We've been doing spooky sewing, so a lot of our stuff has been pretty dark. So this little white and light blue is a nice transition. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and work on our exterior, and we're going to stitch down both sides and the bottom. And I'm just going to use a 1/4" seam allowance here, you guys. If you know me, you know that that's kind of my jam. So I'll sew these together with a 1/4" seam allowance, but you can do whatever you'd like. If you're a 3/8 person, like, go for it. And while we have this piece sort of in our hands, we're going to box the bottoms too. So we've sewn everything except for the top, okay? So the top is still open. Just make sure you got everything. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to pop those bottoms out. We're going to line up the seams. And they should box really nicely straight across. Okay. And we'll go ahead and stitch across both corners with that same 1/4 inch seam allowance. Both corners? Did I say quarters? I don't remember. But you guys know what I mean. Okay, I always just like to make sure that I got everything the first go around. This shouldn't be too thick, even if you use like this batting that I'm using. It's very airy, if that makes sense. It's not adding a lot of thickness. Okay, so there we go. All right, there we go. That's our exterior. It looks so cute. All right, so we're gonna do our interior now, and we're basically doing the exact same thing, except we're gonna leave the bottom open to pull our bag through. Okay, our settings are quite strong for this weight of material, but that's okay. Now we do need to box our corners, so we're just going to stitch a little bit on our bottoms so that we can box our corners and sort of get everything that we can done ahead of time before we put these together. So it's not a lot, it's just enough basically. And just make sure you backstitch really well. So we've left this bit here at the bottom open, and that's so that we can pull in and turn our fabric box out at the end. Words are escaping me. Okay, we're just going to line up our corners, and same thing as the exterior, we're going to stitch them together. And I'm using the same seam allowance on the inside. And you can clip or pin this if you'd like. We're just putting it together. All right. We're going to turn the exterior of our fabric box, which is, it's so cute, you guys. So cute. And we're going to put our exterior inside our interior. So our interior is still wrong side out. We're going to put the right side in. So right sides are together. We're going to line up those side seams. And then we're just going to clip everything together all the way around. So big thing here, the right sides of our material are together, and we're just kind of clipping right in everything that we need. Okay? Like so. Now we're just going to stitch around the top again at that 1/4 inch seam allowance. Just make sure that all of your material sort of stays where you want it. We're going to back stitch as always. This should be a relatively easy sew. This is very beginner friendly, very domestic machine friendly. And we're going to go right back to where we started. Back stitch again. There we go. All the way around. Now we'll reach in here to that hole that we left. Pull everything out, and we'll get in there with our hand and push out those corners. And oh my gosh, this is so cute. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to finish this with our machine. You could hand sew it if you wanted. That's not my thing. So we're just gonna stitch right across the bottom here, and that will finish off that turn hole. And then our last step will be top stitching our basket. We're just snipping off our extra threads. All right, so we're gonna stick that right in there. And we're gonna kind of roll our seam. It has that fluff in there, so it's gonna wanna puff out, and we just wanna make sure our interior stays interior and our exterior on the exterior. We want a nice crisp sort of seam there. So if you roll it in your fingers, you're going to get that. Okay, this is the cutest thing ever, you guys. I can't. So cute. All right. Put our last clip in here. I'm just going to make sure everything looks good. Now we'll just go ahead and top stitch, and we don't have a cylinder arm or anything like that, and we're using the same thread, the top and the bobbin, so I'm not really concerned at all. We're going to sew from the inside here. And we'll start near one of our edges. And we're top stitching about 1/8 of an inch. And we're just going to keep our lining sort of rolled in so that it doesn't really stick out over our exterior material. I'm just taking my time over our seam here because it's the thickest part. Not that it's super thick, but it's still the thickest part of our project here. And just to make sure our stitches stay good. And we're just continuing to move our material as we go. Again, just taking our time over that side seam there. And right back to where we started, guys. Nice back stitch to secure everything. And then we'll trim our threads. Okay. There is our fabric basket. And you guys, I see people do this like all the time. They like bend over the top. And it looks so cute. Okay, there we go. There we go. Oh my gosh, it's adorable. All right, let's head on over to the finished table and take a look together. Oh my gosh, you guys. Look at our little fabric basket from the Dollar Tree. Okay, stop it. It's so cute. Oh my, these measurements came out perfect. It's like a box. Which is crazy. It's crazy. It's so cute. Okay. These colors, I love them, but also they remind me of like a baby shower gift. Like how adorable would it be to make a little fabric basket and then stuff it with goodies for a baby shower? The holidays are coming up. I foresee us making a lot of these out of holiday material because how cute to give a gift in a handmade fabric basket that people can then also use, like it's part of the gift instead of a gift bag or a box that's going to get shredded under the tree or whatever. You can make a basket and then fill it with goodies. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. And I love our quilting. It came out so, so good. I'm kind of shocked. All right. So we used 2 rolls of the fabric, the cotton from the Dollar Tree. Each roll was $1.25. So $2.50 total. And I do have material left. I could make a smaller basket that could like nest inside of this. So I would say this probably cost us $2. Like we use batting and stuff also, but I buy that batting in giant rolls and the amount that we used, very minimal, right? So this cost us, I would say about $2, maybe $2.50 we'll go with, $2.50 total. And it does not look like it only cost $2.50 in materials to make. Obviously, and we did it fast. You guys, we probably, if I wasn't talking, I could make a basket like this in 15 minutes. Like, seriously. Even together, I think we're at about a half an hour. And you guys know I like to chit chat. So it's fast. It's beginner friendly. You can use any kind of materials. Like we're going to be experimenting here. Now that I see how cute this is, look at it. Yeah, no, I'm here for this. I honestly wasn't sure if like our measurements were going to work out or not because I've never made a fabric basket before and I don't know, I was just winging it. I like to use my Omni Grid, the square one, to cut things out because it's easy. It's like I don't have to math. And yeah, it worked out, you guys. It's so cute. I can't stand it. I can't. This might be one of my favorite Dollar Tree DIYs that we've ever done because it is adorable. I hope that you enjoyed today's Dollar Tree DIY and video as much as I enjoyed making this. Like, I'm actually obsessed. We'll be making more fabric baskets on the channel for sure. More to come. Thank you so much for joining me today. If I'm able to link anything, I'll try to look for the Omni Grids. I'll put them in the description box below, but I'll also put the measurements of the box if you want to make your own so you don't have to remember it in the description box as well. Thank you so, so much for joining me today. I appreciate you all. Amazing. You guys are great. I love you. Thank you. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you soon.